Hello, I am Izzy Noodles and welcome back to my making of my Legend of Zelda outfit. So just to emphasize again, this is not a tutorial, this is literally just how I made this. So, today I will be talking about the chest piece that connects the shoulder pieces together. So I did put the shoulders against me and I used a ruler to see how much space was between them. So I'm just kind of putting some marks to gauge how big my little centerpiece needs to be, or at least no bigger than that. Still kind of winging it, not even sure what I'm trying to achieve here. So yeah, I've got the size from like the left side to the right side, and then I've marked the middle, and I'm just going through my little gem pieces to see what I'm going to be using so I can shape them into the design as well, to see, you know, how big things need to be with the gems that I'm using. There's too many, taking ages to put them back in. So as you can see, this one will be in the middle, so just drawing around that so I know what size that will be. So kind of just working out from there, make sure I get my measurements right. And I'm working on just tracing around this. Unfortunately, again, this was a long time ago that I did this, because it's just, I've not had the chance to do the editing part. So I think I was drawing straight onto the foam, and I realized, why am I doing that? So I started again on the paper. I think that's the idea here. So just repeating what I have already done, essentially. And I've got some pictures in front of me to see the shape of this centerpiece, like pictures of Zelda, to see what this is gonna look like. So I'm just kind of copying it from there. Kind of tricky because the game itself, you know, kind of old at this point. So I'm doing my best to kind of design through the pixels. And of course, lots of rubbing out. The little circle part on the edge there, that's to connect the piece to the shoulder. I'm going to use a chain for that. But I did draw it smaller because I realized I didn't actually anticipate for that. So yeah, that made the gap kind of the wrong size. So yeah, it still worked out, but I wish I'd thought of it before starting this. So I'm just cutting this in half because then I can like just draw around the side, like draw around this twice, save time, and then it will definitely be symmetrical. And then using tiny scissors for the more intricate parts. Don't need them big chunky scissors. So there we go. Now, just as before, using pins to keep this steady on the EVA foam. And then drawing around it. And then, of course, drawing around it again, but mirrored. Awesome, and then just cut those out. So that is both pieces, and I just need to stick them together now. So after much thinking about how I'm going to do this, I decided to use the glue gun. So I did do it sort of to the side because I have the gun to the side. It just saves like the stringiness like going everywhere. And there we go. So I am very pleased with that, and I'm just checking how long it is, making sure it's not going to be too long because that would be very upsetting if it was. But yep, I'm very pleased. So now I'm building up the design with the clay. So just putting a little bit of water on here to make the clay stick. I'm kind of just flattening this out because you can't see, but the line down the middle where I connected it together with the glue is actually kind of bumpy. So I'm just adding very flat bits of clay to flatten out the bump. So I do want this to be as smooth as I can get it in the parts where I know it's going to need to look smooth, but there is going to be a lot of dimension to this. So I do kind of just go through different tools to see what's going to work best for what. So this wooden piece has a nice rough edge to try and get that to stick down. So I'm not smoothing it, I'm just trying to get it to stay on the foam. So I'm seeing if that's going to smooth it, that black piece with the ball end. So using this piece to smooth it down, even though I realised I kind of didn't need to at this point, I can smooth it much later. So there's really not too much for me to talk about, which I don't know whether that's going to make it boring or whether you enjoy just watching this as I go along. I'm literally just sticking the clay down in this section. So trying to get the thicker rounded parts just here. And just trying to find where the gems are going to go. Making little grooves so I can figure out my placement there. Here we go, just putting the gem in, make sure it's gonna fit, because it did look a bit snug, so yeah, it was. Just making sure it's gonna fit there. So in a way I'm just building this up a little at a time with little smaller rolls, and then I'm just sort of trying to blend it together. In a way it's going to look messy to begin with, but I can fix any lumps and bumps once it's dried afterwards, fill in any gaps that have been created just from trying to, like, not scratch it down, but where I've formed grooves, if you see what I mean. So the progress so far, you can see it's full of scratches and bumps and imperfections, but this is what I mean, I can fix this afterwards. This arch section was very lumpy and bumpy, and I really struggled to try and get it like flat and smooth. I had a lot of trouble with this bit. There we go, another progress update. Again, still lumpy, bumpy, scratchy, and rough. Not especially smooth, but that's fine, because here is the slurry that is going to fill in those gaps. So I'm not quite at the stage of doing that though. I still need to make sure I know where to put that last gem. So this actually was the most intricate part. I was so worried that I wouldn't fit the gem in this gap. There we go, just, and I mean like very just. So just adding little details here as well, because there's little lines that go across this arch section, so I'm just adding those in. So I put little dots so I can figure out evenly, or near enough evenly, where I'm going to put the lines. And then just very slowly making the little grooves. So again, the progress so far, you can sort of see the lines. I think they'll be much clearer once I get the gold on. So now I'm making the part that's going to join at the back. So I recently bought kind of a rolling pin. I think it can be used for food and arts and crafts, but of course you have to pick one. Let's not use both, do both for one rolling pin, because that can be kind of icky. But these black circular parts fit on the pin like so, and then I can roll out a bit of clay and it will be the thickness of the rubber parts. So there we go. So I don't know what the back is supposed to look like, so this is something I'm just sort of making up, using my artistic license to figure out what I would like to do on the back. So I kind of know what sort of size I want it to be. I just need to figure out how to do that evenly, because I know I did start this a few times because I went wrong. So just trying to gauge a shape and then indent it a little harder when I know this is what I want. Yeah, finding a way to cut that out as well wasn't easy. There we go, so kind of the Superman logo symbol. So just smoothing at the corners and making holes, so this is where the chain's going to go through. And I haven't quite thought this out, because it might become clear very soon. Yeah, this is stuck and I can't get it off. I'm trying to turn it upside down, fold the board a bit, get to the edges. I just got it without ruining it. So now I'm just further smoothing things out, because I did squash it a little bit. So now I'm just adding a little bit of detail to go on this, so it really doesn't matter because it's going to be at the back and no one is going to see it. They're probably not even going to see it for my hair anyway. But I decided I wanted to add like the Legend of Zelda Triforce symbol. So I'm just making the little triangles to put onto it. And of course this time you can see I'm using tracing paper so it doesn't stick to the board. So I'm gonna cut this triangle into smaller triangles to get the little pieces. And using the ruler itself to chop the pieces, it just seems so much easier to do it that way. And there we go. So one of them isn't gonna be needed because it's gonna be kind of a hollow center, if you see what I mean. So just smoothing this out where I squashed it when I used the ruler, making sure the edges are flat. So here we go, here's my base piece. That's what that looks like. And then putting the triangles on like so, and they are kind of a little bit too big. Very annoying, but I found a workaround without starting again. I just used an old nail file because it is quite chalky. It is just an air dry clay. You see all the chalk coming away. I was able to just make these smaller with a nail file. Because I really did not want to start again. Okay, so once they're all done and to size, there we go, they just fit. I feel like that is like only just, but that is the look that I'm trying to achieve. So I used the glue gun to glue these on, which I remember was a terrible idea because it's chalky, it just didn't stick and they came off afterwards. I can't remember what I did use. It was probably E6000 that then helped them stay on. I don't remember if I included that in here actually, in the video footage. This is post-commentary from like months afterwards, after putting this together. So there we go, that's the look. So it overhangs a tiny bit, but I'm not that bothered. So now I'm trying to remember what I'm doing with this wire. Oh yes, there we go. I'm trying to create large loops. Wow, it's been so long that I forgot. So that is how I'm going to attach the shoulder pieces with a chain to the middle piece. So just making sure my holes are where I want them to be and I can get the chain or I don't even know what to call it actually. This wire bit through the holes. So did I show that? I wrapped the wire around a pen. That's how I got the circlets there. And I was trying to create something here and it wasn't working out, so I gave up. It was kind of like I didn't know how to make that part elegant. And I realised there's no making it elegant and sturdy. Let's just leave it. So I do wipe the glue off afterwards. It just didn't look right. And I realised that's futile. Get off, glue. Get off. You're ruining it now. And the glue actually started melting the EVA foam as well. So I gave up on that idea, left it as it was. So here we go, making the little ringlets, putting that in. This is kind of you will get a little teaser because I've put the video together in sections of how I made each piece, not in timeline order. So this is kind of me just practicing or seeing how I'm going to put it together without putting all the gold leaf on, and then there will be a moment with the gold leaf a little later in the video. So cutting out, there we go, I am using the pen, you can see that there now. So cutting each ringlet, and I believe I did spray paint these. I have gold spray paint because I didn't have gold wire, which was very annoying because I thought, I swear to God, I got some gold wire. But nope, apparently not. But this is for the decoration. I bought some of these sort of icicle drop gems, which look amazing. I love these. They're surprisingly heavy, so I was a little bit worried. But they do look cool. It took me ages to find these in this colour and this size. Some of them were just very long drops. I didn't want longer ones. So in that bag you can see there's silver casings on the stones. I did take them off using pliers because I didn't need them, because they're just sticking straight on to the, you know, like the armor quotations itself. So putting these little blue drops together, trying to line them up straight. I think I'm just trying to make sure, see how long they are all together, and then, yeah, seeing how much wire I'm going to need across. Because still, just winging it, there is no plan here. There was a lot of faff. So that, yeah, that's what I'm using, in case anyone was wondering. So I'm cutting a few pieces because I want them to look as a spiral. So using pliers to hold them together, making sure I've got, you know, some strength there, because I wouldn't have been able to use my fingers to twist these together. It's just a little too strong. Just tapping them as well to make sure they're lined up. That's the only reason I was tapping. Just want them level. Yeah, this was surprisingly hard to do because they wouldn't sit in a row. They kept falling out of the pliers. So just twisting. So the part that I held is kind of a mess now, so let's just fix that up. And there we go, kind of messy, not the best, but it's not that bad either. But yeah, that's the why. It is a bit wonky, just little fixes. Much better. That is flat. That is straight. Good job, me. So this is where I'm actually making a loop to attach this piece to, so I can then attach it to the chest part. I just call it a chest piece if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's the fancy part that's sitting there that I just made. I kept calling that a chest piece and I didn't know if it just sounded weird to say it on video. But yeah, rinse and repeat, doing another curled part. Which didn't work out and I was very upset. One of the strands just pulled itself out. So yeah, that didn't work out. Let's try again. So I like to include this just to show what can go wrong if you try and do it for yourself. Like, this didn't go perfectly. This took so long and then I only wore this for 6 hours. But yeah, anything can go wrong. Sometimes you think I'll use some hot glue, you know, glue gun glue, and yeah, that just happens to not be the right glue at all. I learnt that a few times. So there we go, that end isn't quite as I want it to be, but it's not bad, it's okay, it's fine. It's just a bit pointy. So that is something I will work on as well, because of course the edges are going to be sharp. So now I just need to kind of put these together. I have this thin gold wire, which, okay, I wish I had gold in the thicker one, but whatever. So here we go, I've spray painted all of these bits gold now, and I'm going to use that thin wire to wrap these together. And my nails are ready for Halloween. I have some little like bat sequins on there. So putting them together, this was actually kind of hard because everything kept moving around. I think I eventually started from the middle and worked my way out, just because it was moving around so much. So just wrapping these pieces together. So there we go, that's not bad. And then putting these pieces on. So wrapping a bit of wire around one end, make sure that's not going to go anywhere. And then put a gem piece on. I kind of decided I wanted to see what it looked like with the 3 pieces, but realized it was moving around too much. So I did loop the wire over the bar again, I think. I'm sure I did. I don't remember now. We'll see. We'll find out. It's a learning curve. Oh, there we go. I wrapped the wire. I looped it back through the gemstone again. That's what I just did. Okay, so I didn't wrap it around the bar, I looped it through the gem. So there we go, back through the gem. I'm a genius. And then once they are on, hopefully they're not overhanging, like going too far over past the bar. Just wrap this end of the wire around the end of the bar. And there is the finished thing. That actually does look pretty good, if I do say so myself. So repeat that to create a second one. So now just kind of still winging it, still gonna see how much chain I need and how many ringlets I need. And these ringlets are very flimsy, by the way. This will fall apart easily if you ever kind of want to do the same thing and then go to some sort of convention or something. So I tried a little ringlet for, you know, standard jewelry. Trying some chain measuring, etc. I think I decided, like the chain I did create, I needed much smaller chain. Whether I included that in the video or not, I don't know. Don't remember, but some tiny ringlets to put on the chain. And this was so tedious. This started to annoy me because I really struggled because it was just so tiny and fiddly. So yeah, that's a bit of it done. There's a better angle. If the camera actually focuses, struggling to get it to focus, there we go. So as you can see, I only used roughly 2 inches of chain. So of course, again, for the other side. So I took a step away to hold that up to see how that looked. So here I am doing the back. I removed the front just to make sure I wasn't gonna like tug or break anything as I'm testing. So as you can see, I've removed the chain completely. So to be honest, not sure what I'm doing here. One side of that chest piece has some chain and it looks like the other side doesn't, unless it's just the way it's sitting. But yeah, this was all, as I say, trial and error to see how long the chains needed to be. So it could actually have been the back that didn't need so much chain. Okay, gonna try that on, see what that looks like. I think I got a bit tangled unless I did a quick edit and already tried it on. And the chains are too long. I think this is the moment I figured that out. So doing some snippety snipping. And here we go, here's the spoiler, we've got the gold leaf already. This is just me making the final piece to go onto the back. So just ignore all the gold leaf. That's still to come. So again, making one of these loops that I made for the blue gem pieces to fit on the front. So that bit doesn't need to be nearly as long. And I'm not going to do all the fancy twisty bits. So just attaching this as well. I think I didn't even bother spray painting this bit. just attaching this as I did the other pieces with the blue gemstones, winding around to fix these together. So as I'm winding around, I also attached one blue drop gem. And that is kind of spiky there, so I do need to fix up all of that still. But there we go, essentially that is how that is gonna look. So I feel like it came across kind of messy, but it doesn't really matter. As I say, the back part is not really going to be seen. And that is gonna go right there. So I'm using the glue gun glue to put over the edges to stop it being so sharp. And there we go. The final touch. So that is it for this video part. I'm sorry if these seem a little bit dragged out. I wanted to include everything, and I did cut some parts out, but I'm still surprised at how long these video sections have ended up being. So sorry if they're actually not that entertaining, but if you have been enjoying them, I am very pleased. So thank you for watching, and there is still more to come. I hope you're looking forward to it. Take it easy.